Hey everyone, my name is Knook and welcome to my Facebook page. In this video I'm gonna show you how to get a really nice gradient blended out crease like I have in this video. So I'm gonna play with different colors to show you how you can achieve that it goes from the brow, where it's kind of light, towards dark, like around the lash line area. So hopefully this video is gonna teach you some things. So what you want to use for this video is a white shade, a light shade, a medium tone shade, and of course a dark shade, and then also a black shade. So using all these shades is gonna help to achieve that gradient that goes from super light to super dark. So it doesn't have to be like the exact same shades as I use, just make sure that they're kind of like the same. If you don't have a white shade, it can also be like a super light kind of nude shade that will work as well. Now before I go in with any eyeshadow, I am first going to prime my eyelids. So I'm going to use my favorite, which is the MAC Cosmetics paint pot in the color Soft Ochre. So I'm just going to start blending this all over my eyelid. The brush that I'm using is a P84 brush from Sigma Beauty. This brush is unfortunately not available in their collection anymore. Well, maybe there are still a few left, I'm not quite sure, but they will not continue with this brush, which I'm really sad about because it's actually my favorite brush for applying my eyeshadow primer. So that really sucks, but let me know if you know like an alternative which I can use. So now I'm going to go in with this eyeshadow guard. If you don't have it, you can also use some regular sticky tape that you have at home and use that instead. So the first color I'm going in with is that white color, and I'm going to use this underneath the highest point of my eyebrow. So I feel like personally this really helps with creating a beautiful gradient that goes from light to dark in your crease. It kind of sounds or looks a bit simple and maybe not necessarily, but I feel like it definitely makes a difference. And at the end of the video, you will see why. So I will definitely encourage to not skip this part and use a super light color in the area where I am now applying that white shade. So I'm just continuing to do that. Then I'm going in with the light shade, and today I chose kind of like a yellowy mustardy shade, and I'm just gonna blend this all over in my crease. So I'm just going from the inner corner to the outer corner and trying to blend it up quite high. You don't want to apply it like straight underneath your brow, just a little bit lower than that. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue to blend until I'm satisfied with how everything is looking. So now for the next step, I'm going to go in with the medium shade that I chose, and I'm going to start blending that in my crease as well. But what you want to do is blend this a little bit lower than where you just blended that first color that you used. So by making sure that you don't go up as high is that you will see this shade, then you will see a little bit of that first color you used, and then right above it, that white shade that we used underneath the eyebrow. The next I'm going in with the dark shade. In my case, this is kind of like a dark brown shade, and I'm gonna start applying this all over my eyelid. What I like to do whenever I create an eye look, as in today's video, I just take a fluffy blending brush, as I have right here, And I'm just gonna blend this on top of the eyelid, and then with whatever is left on my brush, I'm gonna blend it up a little bit higher. But like I said with the previous shade, you don't want to blend it up too high because you don't want to cover all up like the previous colors we used. So this is kind of going to be on top of the eyelid and also in my crease, and maybe with whatever's left, blending it up a little bit higher so it blends in that previous medium shade that I used. But don't blend it up too high because, like I said, that will cover up all the other shades that we used. So if we would, it will kind of be all for nothing. But you want to make sure that it really goes from light to dark, from up towards lower, if that makes sense. So now I'm switching to a tinier brush because with a bigger brush it's kind of hard to like focus in the inner portion of your crease. So you can just you can just switch to a tinier brush and work a little bit more precise in the inner corner area of your eyelids. So after doing this, it's time for the next step. It's kind of optional, like you don't have to do this, but I wanted to go in with like a black smoky wing liner. So I went in with a black eyeshadow and used this along the lash line. So just take a super tiny blending brush and start blending this like right above your lash line and also right above the sticky tape that I will really recommend to use because it just comes in really handy. You can just blend your brush on top of it. It doesn't matter if it looks like messy on the sticky tape because you're gonna remove it anyway, so you won't see anything of it anymore. But it just allows you to just blend a little bit closer towards your lash line without touching anything like right below. If you would do this without using like a sticky tape, of course you can use some concealer at the end and fix all the eyeshadow or clean it with a cotton pad or anything and remove everything and make it look more sharper. But I will definitely recommend to use like a sticky tape or something, or eyeshadow guard like I did. So I'm just gonna blend this all the way above the lash line, and I always like to apply a little bit, and then with whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna like sweep my brush back and forth so it doesn't look too dark. I really want it to look super soft, so it also kind of blends into that dark brown color which we previously used. And this way you will again get a gradient from light to dark the lower you go like towards your lash line. So then I just add a little bit more on my brush, and I just continue to do so until I'm happy with how it looks. So this just kind of depends. When you are recreating this makeup look, just look at your eye. If you think it looks good, you're just ready for the next step. But if you feel like you need a little bit extra, you can always add a little bit more. So I also went in with a super tiny brush and blended even more, just as close as possible against my lash line, so I couldn't like see any skin in between, which I really don't like. So I really try to apply like as much of the black shade on the roots of my lashes. So when I'm done with blending the black eyeshadow, I'm gonna remove the eyeshadow guard, and you can see this is how it's currently looking. I'm really happy with how the gradient is looking, and hopefully by like watching and practicing, this video will help you with improving your eyeshadow blending skills. So I'm just gonna quickly show you how I did the rest of the look. I used some black underneath the lower lash line, then I used a black pencil in my waterline, and then I used some of the brown colors that I used for my crease to blend out the lower lash line as well. So I just tried to make it really like smudgy and blown out. Then I went in with a mascara. I used the Maybelline Sky High mascara, which is my personal favorite drugstore mascara. Then I applied some falsies, which is kind of optional, but I think it definitely makes the whole eye look a little bit more glamorous. So this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.